perform the same way in terms of objective gaming without having the link?
Your team is picking.
Well, personally, I think you have to understand that they mentioned it in their interview itself. They want to play 1-2-2, 2-1-2 as much as they can. So I think a lot of it is going to be around rotational power for the side of Orange Esports, while Resurgence most likely is going to play hypercarry meta, considering that LY4 is so demanding for those resources.
Yeah, and speaking of which, even if they don't actually rely on the LY4, there's still gonna be all the other players like Jason who are actually doing so much playmaking on the team. So for us, we're looking at Farsa as well as Chao. So of course, what do you feel about this sort of initial picks coming from Orange Esports?
I like it a lot. I think they still have, you know, sometimes one game they went with the Farsa. The other picks they had was the Jawhead, the Tammuz, the Harith. I'm wondering if they will be going for similar picks here as their games in the previous 2 days. Yeah. So yeah, they're pretty much going with the similar draft from one of the games in yesterday. Sorry, day one. This was day one. They went with the Harith and the Farsa.
I don't know. I'm looking at these webcams, and it kind of looks like Resurgence was sort of expecting this. I like seeing the player cams because you can kind of see the semi conversations. Yeah, the smirks. Yeah. I don't know if they're joking or they're just hyper prepared for what Orange has to bring to the table here. But as of right now, Orange most likely is going to look to ban out Claude this time to kind of force out Resurgence. But instead, they're giving way too much respect to Sana and getting rid of his Thamus more than worrying about LY4. I feel like Orange Esports feel like LY4 is always going to be a consistent factor.
Yeah,
so,
and over on towards Resurgence, they're banning out Bruno. So yeah, you were actually picking onto something for us. So walk us through that.
So yeah, just as I was saying, so they went with a similar draft. They have the Farsa, they have the Jawhead, they have the Harith. The Bruno and Tammuz is taken away from them. So there's one last year that they need to switch out here. Do you guys think they'll be going for a marksman, or do you think they'll be going for? I think they'll be going for a marksman or a tank. I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Well, I do think that they would, and there we go. It's going to be a 1-1 right there for the side of Orange Esports Reborn. So, Gideon, all these picks are already on the board. What are you feeling about this?
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit weird. Like Resurgence is kind of pivoted away. Not so much hyper carry oriented as I would like to have seen, but Orange Esports on the other side of the table, I think they've got a solid draft. The 1-1 pick is kind of interesting because they could have gone for some of the better marksmen. Like, again, they could have easily gone for the carry. They could have easily gone for the Claude for something with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more mobility. They decided specifically on 1-1 just to kind of dance around Resurgence a little bit more. And the Granger pick from Resurgence, also very, very interesting. They could have easily picked up Claude, so expect to see a lot of engagements starting off with the Death Sonata from LY4.
100%. Now, this is going to be our first matchup of the day, guys. This is going to be Orange going up against Resurgence. This is going to be the determining match that will see who will go into the grand finals. Right now, as you guys can see, we do have the beautiful Contra and Gideon to tell you the story of the game. So, boys, take it away.
Thank you very much for calling us beautiful, but you know what's more beautiful? This matchup itself. It's going to be pretty much great as things are going to get hit up. And Mom's going to be starting off with a little bit of offense over on towards KZP. Of course, a little back and forth between them, but Mal's dropping really low, and that will be the first blood coming from Resurgence as Sync's going to be able to actually take him down alongside with the rest of RSG.
Oh, and they get another one as well. It looks like Chakbu is the next to fall, and this means that RSG have a green light to actually go and invade the blue buff for the side on Orange Esports' side. They can't really take this away, and now they're getting punished, coming in with some pretty big damage. They pull on through. Luckily, the spatial migration gets Sana completely out of that fight, but very good play and a very good start from Resurgence. It's already been 1 minute, and they've nailed themselves 2 kills and a buff.
Wow. Look at that sort of rotation. Like, they thought that they will actually focus too much on those sort of early buffs at first, but Resurgence ended up with that 5-man mid move that got them that sort of the big advantage, and things are looking really great for them for a head start, especially when Jason as well as Santa here got themselves those sort of early kills. And of course, this seems to be one of the... Is this the first Guinevere that we're looking at the playoffs right now being brought right in?
Literally the entire season, because like honestly, Guinevere is a very situational pick, because right now Resurgence, before they even got the Guinevere, which was their last pick, they were looking for something to actually engage the fight, and Death Sonata is a great way to kind of like set up for the engages. But at the end of the day, Sana is going to be looking for those faster rotations just to hopefully catch off Orange Esports like they did in the first minute of the game. And unfortunately, we have a little bit of a technical issue, but that means we get the one and only Faraz. Welcome back, brother.
I'm sure none of the viewers are happy about that you're getting me back on the panel at the moment, because they just want to see the games. But again, like Gideon said, we do apologize. We'll be fixing these issues as soon as possible, we promise. Let's talk about the first part of the game. So I during the games just now, I actually went back, and this was the draft that I told you guys about that Orange picked up was similar to their day one draft. But the reason they won is they used the Farsa early game to actually have a lot of early aggression towards the enemy team. However, that didn't work out for them this time around. This time around it was Resurgence, as you guys saw, that went in full on. I'm not sure if this is something Orange expected. I think Orange wasn't playing as aggressive as they were when they were playing against Axis. Maybe it could be a respect towards Resurgence, but it seems like we're back to see if something happens here.
Mom shouldn't survive
one
this.
hit. Yep. There we go.
He goes down. Yeah, he goes down really, really fast there. Overall, we did miss out the first couple of seconds to how that ended up. But let's look at the goal lead as of right now for the side of Resurgence. It looks like they managed to get one more kill off of Mom just now, and that just means that their team is going to be slightly ahead. But the level force is the most important here, as KZP comes in with a wild charge. Unfortunately, no follow up by LY4. He does not have his Death Sonata off cooldown yet.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Farsa right now, who is still level 3. This is definitely going to be concerning, judging from the fact that even Faras has pointed out that they really want to use that hyper aggression up in the early stage. But Sync and the rest of RSG, they march in towards the jungle, and they got their 4th kill. Now sending more abyssal arrows here to actually take good advantage while they clear every single one of these camps coming in from Orange Esports' jungle.
Oh boy, this game is going to be a very tough one for the side of Orange Esports, as RSG have full knowledge of camp timers, and Farsa coming out with a very big ultimate here, but it's only going to hit LY4, KZP in the back line to slow them down, because Silo wants to get this pick, but KZP sticking very close to the walls to ensure that he doesn't get ejected for the second time in that fight itself. Resurgence disengaged very confidently. But again, remember, Turtle is going to be a very big objective that Resurgence wants to take away from Orange Esports Reborn, just to kind of stop them from actually trying to catch up in terms of EXP and gold.
That's right, and with that being said, members of Orange Esports Reborn are moving towards the bottom side, but it's going to be Aaron here who gets cut, but he's still dashing in and out of the fight with his Salmon Force, but he will be taken down by the Guinevere. Now only being Mom left inside the Turtle Pit, and he's getting surrounded by all members of RSG. It's a pure smackdown, and that's one free Turtle for Resurgence.
Yeah, now this means that Resurgence is going to have full control over the game for the next 5 minutes unless they make a critical mistake against Orange Esports. But considering the mistakes that RSG have made in the past within the playoffs itself, a lot of it has to do with impatience. So hopefully RSG, this is the first game of today. They still have a lot more to go. I'm expecting to see them, improve on just being patient with their movements, very tactical, very surgical when they plan on their fights.
Yeah, and well, it seems like they haven't made a single mistake at all, and looks like Sing's gonna be able to respond by actually putting some aggression here, while Aaron as well as Mom, they really want the turret, but here comes a little bit more of that sort of the dash coming in from Aaron.
What?
As he moves away, but oh, what is going on over the top side here? 1 versus 2, and Sing still gets the kill.
It looks like Sana is feeling on form. He 1v2s. Sync is the one who's actually feeling up to steam right now, because he just 1v2'd a Farsa, as well as a 1-1, and an easy pickup for LY4, taking advantage of an unsuspecting Mao. Looks like Orange Esports didn't have their morning coffee today because this is not looking good. No. Oh no, again, Farsa is caught out. Chakbu, the first to fall down, as the Simon Force has been popped just to kind of buy himself a little bit more time. But once again, Aaron doesn't have the damage to force RSG out of their bottom side jungle.
This seems to be the cleanest game of the entire playoffs here, 12-0, and it seems like Orange Esports Reborn doesn't have any answers at all. Right now, RSG pushing towards the top side here, and they need to actually make a move. Feathered airstrike over onto his sink, as well as LY4 clears off the wave while they are stalling it for the time being. But Santa here, he himself, right now, having 3 kills in the back with this first ever Guinevere pick is definitely very, very pleasant to watch. But, you know, what should Orange Esports do next?
I totally agree with you. I love seeing Guinevere, especially in a variation of Hypercarry, a 1-3-1 composition coming out from Resurgence. What's not to love? But Orange Esports, I think what they have to do at this point is they got to stick together and really isolate some members from the side of Resurgence. They might lose a couple of objectives, but you're 12-0 at this point. Honestly, Orange Esports could take anything right now.
Yeah, I think that if this goes on, things are going to be even worse when the mid lane gets crushed over. At least they do have that sort of the protection for now. Jason being brought down low, but Mom's going to be able to walk right in with no problem at all. But over the top side here, even more problems to come as we are looking at LY4 going unstoppable.
Yeah, it's not exactly the greatest to go against LY4, especially he's already level 35 kills, and there goes the spatial migration into the Violet Requiem. Luckily, Shunpo was already activated mid-flight, and he gets the 3rd hit on Jeet Kune Do. LY4 isolated by himself by the way of the dragon as the unstoppable force from Silo comes on through, but Chakbu forced to get out of the feathered airstrike. He has no choice. He isn't able to finish off the kill onto LY4. Resurgence, their goal lead is just too big.
Yeah, no, I didn't really expect this for the very first game itself. It seems like they are just looking to actually end things as quick as they can. Mel's gonna be backing off away. Boom! There we go! Double going in for the Death Sonata, and LY4 dominates them, and Crush opens the mid lane. And Resurgence now possibly have pretty much what it takes to also take down Silo. Silo's running for his life, and there we have it. Legendary for LY4.
Now, I don't usually say this, but I definitely think that Resurgence have this game in the bag. There's just no way that they lose this particular situation. The Xamid Force coming out from Aaron to kind of clear out the waves, but RSG playing a little bit more patient. Pulls back, wait, spatial migration, hits one. Aaron is the target. Sana walks away scot-free despite taking some big damage from the inhibitor turret. And yeah, there's just pretty much no way that Resurgence actually loses this unless Orange can somehow capitalize on an overextension from RSG, but don't expect much here as Mom in the backline making sure that Sync is taking a little bit of damage. He gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow. This is going to be some easy pickings for RSG with an easy follow-up of the spatial migration. RSG, once again, full control of this game.
Yeah, and of course, I also really love that Santa uses Violet Requiem for every great moment for setup, and for that, even KZP, that beautiful wall being set up with that wall charge knocks them perfectly in towards the hands of Resurgence in that sort of sense. And now we're looking at a 20-0 scoreline, 33k goal lead, and we've never seen this before. Like RSG today having that hyper aggression, usually even if they're on that lead, they still have a little bit of that sort of the loophole somewhere in between where the other team could still try to actually come and punish a couple of that pickoff. But today, RSG looking way too clean, and this might just be a solo kill, and they didn't even need Sync to be on board.
This is what I was telling you. There's almost no way for them to lose at this point, and I think Orange Esports, like, they know this. They know that they messed up in the early game. They gave them, they gave Resurgence. They made two big mistakes against Resurgence. One, they weren't expecting. They got caught off guard. The second one, just unacceptable for the side of Orange Esports' standard. So I don't expect them to care too much about this particular game. Just move on to the next one. And game 2, I'm pretty sure Orange is going to clog up those holes as soon as possible. But for now, it's just going to be an absolute destruction coming in from RSG's side. Mal chunked out completely. Oh, this might be the play. Sana is the one thrown in, but he quickly uses the Violent Red Grip into the Winter Trudger, and he's still alive. He's managed to protect himself from a major play coming in from Orange Esports. They've already lost CeeLo and Aaron. This is it, as Resurgence are going to look to try and close out this game against Orange Esports. But you can see the patience from RSG, making sure that they don't go too far. Jason under a lot of fire, but Mom looks like he didn't have that last bit of damage. If only he had the execute. And they're going to close this out. Congratulations to RSG. They're going to be taking one in superb fashion. Orange Esports, don't worry. They're going to be coming back stronger next game.
Wow! 25 overkills in the span of less than 15 minutes. It's the playoffs at all. And I'm great that Orange Esports is actually considering of that because with that, the mobility that Kimi has, they could easily just sprint away from all these Phantom Airstrike or any sort of commotion at all coming in from the Tablets or even the Claude. So it's going to be maybe a little bit trickier for Resurgence to actually catch on Mom with that pick. Now Atlas as well as Kaja being taken off. Not too sure about that Atlas ban though. What do you feel about this?
Personally, I think Kaja was an absolute mistake to ban out because there's no reason for Orange Esports to go for Kaja at this point of time unless they're going for, you know, a 4-1 comp, which Orange Esports usually prefer not to play. And I think they should have banned out just like Carry instead of the Kaja because Resurgence was prepping for Grok the entire time. They need a tank and they need somebody who has wave clear, and Grok fills both of those criterias. Orange Esports, very, very smart with their bans. Getting rid of the Atlas early on, they say, okay, we want to get rid of the option for you to be a team fight composition. And look, they even deviate to a double assassin composition. So they are for sure playing 1-3-1. However, this could be a very big risk Orange Esports is taking here because remember, Helker and Hayabusa require a lot of gold, and the same could be said to Kimi. So somebody has to sacrifice their gold a little bit here.
Hey, but if you look at it right now, Farsa could be in a lot of danger having all these sorts of assassin lying around.
That's true.
Wow.
Again, it's a very big risk.
Oh man, I love this game. The draft in this game is so interesting, man.
It is definitely deviated from day 2.
Yeah, and they are definitely breaking all these metas right here, as Orange Esports Reborn is technically doing pretty much the unthinkable, where this looks to be like they want to make sure that Season 2 run of that Reborn comes back into its play. So it's kind of like a throwback and a little bit of a mix back of the current meta for them to see whether or not can they actually take down the Titans, which is Resurgence, who's already secured 1 point. Now Orange Esports Reborn looks to actually reclaim and equalize that survey score. So we'll see whether or not will they be able to do so, or will Resurgence make their way in the grand finals.
Well, for now, we're going to have to say goodbye to Faraz as we load into the game. You can already hear it. The battlefield has been set. The stage is ready. Who will meet Geek Fam in the grand finals as Orange Esports tries to defend their position and RSG just wants revenge?
And of course, let's talk a little bit more about that Sylvana pick, because so many of all these Malaysian meta doesn't really include Sylvana into the picture. Is there a reason why, and is there a solid reason why RG is actually going for this?
Yes, it's their most important and also their weakest link at the same time. And let me explain that a little bit, because as of right now, look at the way Orange Esports have kind of started out in terms of their composition. They went to the waves, they're making sure everybody's getting gold. That's A-okay. However, Sylvana isn't exactly the most mobile of heroes, and she is very easily punishable, which Orange Esports have identified. They're gonna dive her right here. Like, what can Sync really do? He already used the advantage. He quickly pops out to get the shield. He gets the stun and outplays them single-handedly. This might just give them the lead that they've been looking for. Jason unable to finish off Aaron there as he quickly uses his heal. But Jason, can he actually reach it? No, he cannot. He does not have Flicker. He has Purify. Well played to Resurgence. And to get back onto your main point about Sync playing the Sylvana, they just lack, because this is a Farsa comp, they're playing defensively. However, they lacked engage, and that's where Sync comes in.
Yeah, and Sync just saved the best for last, and he just riposted some of those hits. And look at Zana here. What? Oh my goodness, he's turning it around! And that's a double kill going in favor of his Monsieur. What a big play coming in from Resurgence 2 times in a row. And Orange Esports Reborn once again on the back foot.
Come on, Orange Esports, you have to remember the battle spells every time. And now the top lane is going to be a little bit of trouble here as the rotations from RSG, making sure that they keep Sync safe, because he is going to be so weak until he hits level 4. And now that he's hit level 4, this is going to pose an immediate threat to Orange Esports, because remember, Resurgence, their mid lane, is going to be playing 3 members, Jason, LY4, and KZP. They're going to control the mid lane, rotate to top side, get priority for top side before looking to make a play with Sync's major ultimate. The moment he catches more than 2 people, here we go, one person already falling into the Venus flytrap. They secure the kill onto Chaku.
Oh no, right now might just be that sort of the first opportunity for Orange Esports to fend off against Santa, but you see 3 members are being sent right down below to hunt him out, but all they can do is possibly follow up while looking to slowly get some of all these assassins pretty much online. But you know, maybe, just maybe, Orange Esports can slowly turn things around in the late game if they can actually outlast this sort of commotion that's happening here. But my goodness, 5 kills already in the back, but now Orange Esports still tries to reply bomb in the middle of it all. This will be a killing spree going over on towards Santa, while Aaron, getting stuck right there, will fall down.
That is so unfortunate. It looks like Orange Esports aren't able to adapt on the fly. They couldn't make a decision on where to engage, because you could see that Jason was so completely out of position. Yet you could see the hesitation, the 0.5 seconds of hesitation of, do I jump on Jason? He could easily fly away, or am I looking to kind of stop the engagement coming in from KZP as well as Sync? They could not decide, and in that 0.5 seconds, they just got hella punished.
And I think there's going to be a little bit more punishments to come. Sync just simply hops over the wall and towards safety, while Jason will be holding on towards the mid lane for now. A little bit of that big rotation up towards the top side here. So I'm thinking that Orange Esports Reborn finally notices that, of course, they have to actually punish the weak link. So whether or not is Sync ready, we have to wait and see what's going up to the top side.
Not against 4 people. 4 people and stuff, but now Silo is going to get responded here. KZP predicted the chemical refinement as well as the flicker, catching him off, holding his wild charge until it mattered the most. They're going to be trading objectives here, and honestly, Orange Esports need to find some kind of profit, because if they trade 1 for 1 every single time, Resurgence is still going to be ahead of the game.
And right now, speaking of being ahead, we have about 3k gold that's favoring the side of Resurgence, while KZP walks right in, and he will be able to actually wall charge and towards bomb. Of course, that's going to be blazing the web being opened up. Chapu is going to be able to possibly last for only a couple of seconds before he falls to the hands of LY4. But oh my! How did Mel just got popped right there? Well, Bomb once again right in the middle. He's off position. This is a free kill for Resurgence.
Yep, and the more, they're just getting so fed right now. There's nothing they can do. Now, Sana, I'm pretty sure that he already has his, his axe, his Bloodlust axe, and Orange Esports are just taking blows after blows after blows from Resurgence, playing hyper aggressive at this point. Resurgence know that they have the item advantage, they have the spikes, and they will take full control over this game as they transition into a 1-4 style formation against Orange Esports. And this is where Resurgence is going to be at their strongest. Their mid game is just so much stronger than Orange Esports. And unfortunately for Orange Esports, all the time and effort that they did to put damage into Sync has ended up with a 4-1-4 stat line. Think about it. 4-1-4 being the weakest link of Resurgence. And I'm not talking about weakest link as in weakest player, as in weakest hero in the composition.
And it's not looking anywhere that weak anyways. Like, he could still do that 1v2 if, of course, the circumstances permit. And as it scales, I'm looking at the side of Resurgence actually having Sana here, who has not only dominated the lane, but had that really big hit start of that double kill that he's gotten. Of course, he can out-sustain most of all these players that's over on the side of Orange Esports Reborn. Now, i4 is chunking out the waves, and Mom, hopefully he will be able to actually pull something off because they really need him to actually make a play. There we go.
And they already go in. The Imperial Justice actually catching only one person. However, Orange Esports get collapsed on as LY4 has scaled very nicely into this game. He's already got the golden staff in his back, and he is just chunking out fools with the help of Jason, keeping away the rest of Orange members from walking up to the turret. Wait, Mal coming in from the back line, tries to go in, uses the ultimate. Unfortunately, he still had his petrify. He goes in, locks down 3 people, but he doesn't have the damage. And this is what I was talking about in terms of high risk, high reward, because Orange Esports, they don't have the extra gold to kind of spread out throughout the potential hyper carries of this game. Kimmy, CeeLo, super depleted of items. Aaron hasn't even finished the endless battle. Mal, not even remotely close to getting his Blade of Despair.
Yeah, this is definitely looking pretty tough for Orange Esports Reborn, but how long could they still suffer some of all these hits coming from inside of Resurgence? Like, we kind of expected that Resurgence will still crash right in towards the mid side. They tried to actually fight for it in a very unfavorable position where KZP can just easily walk right in with a big wall charge to set things up perfectly for the side of RSG. But hey, Mel, although he did try to actually go for assassinations, they did get one more kill over on towards Sync, the weakest link that used it. But yet, it's not going to be enough. But we're looking at Tactical Cure, something perhaps too much of a blow, and that's a mega kill going for Jason.
I was about to say that RSG is probably going to wait till 12 minutes to end this game, but it looks like Orange Esports making the mistake. Oh, wait, no! The Dark Knight Falls already in. KZP going a bit deep. Sana already bit the bullet for the team. And now, okay, good defense from Orange Esports, finding an opportunity to actually punish the overextension from Resurgence. That's going to buy them a little bit of time here. But remember, the 12-minute mark is going to be so dangerous because Luminous Lord is going to be up, and they've already made sure that that mid turret is so low.
Yeah, and I feel this is definitely going to be even worse when RSG goes in for that Lord, and now Mob's going to be bouncing right back. But I'm not sure he's getting walled off, and once again, this is going to be, a Flicker coming out, so he's going to be pretty much safe. But I thought that he would have fallen right there if he didn't do anything about that.
For sure, he would have definitely died. Now, just look at the gatekeeping coming in from RSG. They're not letting Orange Esports get anywhere close because they know Aaron has Retribution. And now, Glorious Pathway has been put down by Chakbu to get some information, but LY4 quickly pops the Blazing Duet. Kufra being stopped in the back line. He can't help follow up on the team. Keep your eyes on Mal, though. He might be going in anytime. He's got the Dark Knight Falls and Petrify. This could be his moment. Could he steal it away? Mal walks in. He blinks. He tries. He gets it with the stingers. He sacrifices his life to buy some time for the side of RSG, and with the minion wave spawning, has just allowed themselves a little bit of time. But if Silo goes down here, RSG, they don't even care about Lord. They're going to be knocking on the doors of Orange Esports, telling them, hey, you can take Lord away from us, but you can't protect your inhibitor. Sana is going to take the brunt of the damage of Lord because, again, he can solo Lord with no problems.
Of course, they got their anger all spiked up, in that moment where the Lord was stolen away. So Resurgence probably wants to hit 2 times even harder from this point onwards. But with that sort of takedown, look at the lanes. Orange Esports Reborn, of course, actually getting themselves a little bit more of that, of course, freedom to move around the map for just a little bit more. But now that the Lord is gone, this is going to be really hard. And Mom just facing off against KZP,
Oh, no.
well, he will be able to actually move right in, but here comes that one photo. He will finish off that kill, but it's given over to the side of Sync. And even though the glorious pathway is opened up, there's no escaping coming in for top.
They shouldn't be there. Orange Esports shouldn't be there. And it looks like, you know, the quad shadow coming in from Aaron. Oh no, Imperial Justice actually catches him off. This is it. Resurgence have just ended the Dark Horses themselves. Orange Esports Reborn is going to be knocked out here, on the brink of being knocked out. If it wasn't for Mal just cutting the waves, it just isn't enough. Resurgence on a different level. Their blood is pumping, and they will see Geek Fam in the grand finals. Congratulations, GG, well played to Resurgence as they